He pulled $20,000 in gold from that mountain in 1962. That is over $200,000 in today's money. Enough to buy 3 ranches and retire like a king. But 6 months later, Samuel Hutchins was found dead in a ditch, broken and alone, with nothing but the clothes on his back. What happened to the gold? What happened to the man? This is the true story of how finding everything can cost you everything, and I need to warn you, this gets dark. Because Samuel made 5 critical mistakes that destroyed his life, and mistake number 3 is the one that kills most people chasing wealth today. Before we dive in, smash that subscribe button right now, because the stories we tell here do not just entertain, they could literally save your life or your family. In the next 15 minutes, you are going to see a good man transform into something unrecognizable. You are going to see wealth turn to ashes. And you are going to learn the one lesson about success that nobody teaches you until it is too late. Stay until the very end, because what really killed Samuel Hutchins was not the gold, not the desert, not even the people who robbed him. It was something far more dangerous, something that might be inside you right now. Let's begin. Samuel Hutchins was 42 years old when he decided his life needed to change. He worked the copper mines in Arizona for 16 years, breathing dust and earning pennies while other men struck it rich. Every miner heard the stories. Gold still hiding in the old mountains. Veins the big companies missed. Samuel spent his evenings in the library studying geological surveys from the 1880s, looking for what others overlooked. He found something interesting. A prospector named Dutch Keller had filed claims in the Superstition Range in 1891. Found color, the records said. Then nothing. No follow-up. No production. The claim expired unclaimed. Samuel saved every dollar for 2 years. Bought proper equipment. A good mule. Supplies for 3 months. His wife Martha begged him not to go. They had 2 children and stability mattered more than dreams. I will come back with enough to give you everything, Samuel promised. Martha just shook her head. We already have everything that matters. But he could not hear her. The gold fever had already infected his mind. The Superstition Mountains earned their name. Apache territory once, now just hostile terrain where summer heat could cook a man and winter cold could freeze him. Samuel did not care. He had coordinates and determination. He found Dutch Keller's old camp on the 3rd day. Rotted timber. Rusted tools. And carved into a rock face, an arrow pointing northeast. Samuel felt electricity run through his veins. He was close. The geology was perfect. Quartz veins running through granite, exactly what the old surveys described. Samuel set up camp and started working. Pickaxe and patience. Dawn to dusk. Every day for 2 weeks. Then he saw it. A flash of yellow in the broken rock. Samuel dropped to his knees, hands shaking as he pulled the stone closer. Gold. Pure and beautiful. A vein as thick as his thumb. For 3 months Samuel worked that vein like a man possessed. He forgot to eat regular meals. Forgot to write Martha like he promised. The gold was all that mattered. Each day brought more yellow metal. By October he had $20,000 worth. More wealth than he had seen in his entire life. Enough to change everything. Samuel packed it carefully into leather saddlebags and started the journey home. The first mistake was talking. At the trading post in Apache Junction, Samuel bought supplies and could not help bragging. Showed the clerk a nugget. Within an hour, every drifter in town knew about the lucky prospector. 3 men followed him out of town. Samuel noticed but was not worried. He had a rifle and the confidence that comes from success. Pride makes men stupid. His father had told him that once. They took him at Tortilla Flat. Quick and professional. Rifles aimed before he could react. They took the gold, the mule, everything. left him alive but on foot in country that killed men for less. Samuel walked for 2 days before a freight wagon picked him up. He arrived home with nothing but shame and excuses. Martha did not say "I told you so." Her silence was worse. But Samuel Hutchins was not finished. The gold fever still burned. He knew where the vein was. He could get more. This time he would be smarter, quieter. He started planning his return. Martha begged him to stop. They still had the house, his mining job, their family. But Samuel could only see the mountain and the gold still waiting there. He left again in February 1963. This time he told no one. Worked the claim in secret. Pulled another 15,000 in gold over 2 months. But isolation and obsession were changing him. He talked to himself. Saw threats in shadows. He made it to Phoenix with the gold. Converted it to cash at an assayer's office. 10,000 after fees. Samuel rented a hotel room and stared at the money for hours. Then made his second mistake. Instead of going home, Samuel went to the saloon. He needed to celebrate. Just one drink. He met a woman named Claudia who said she understood men like him. Men who took risks. Winners. 3 days later Samuel woke in an alley. The money was gone. Claudia was gone. His wedding ring was gone. He had vague memories of card games, more women, buying drinks for strangers. Samuel could not go home. Not again. Not empty-handed again. The shame was too heavy. So he stayed in Phoenix, taking laborer jobs, sleeping in flop houses. Trying to save enough to try again. He wrote Martha once. Told her he was working a big opportunity. Needed more time. She wrote back saying the children asked for him every night. He never opened another letter she sent. 6 months passed. Samuel saved enough for basic supplies and started back to the mountain. But the vein was not infinite. This time he found only traces spent 3 months for $300 worth. The pattern repeated. Small finds, big losses. Samuel aged 10 years into. His teeth went bad. His hands shook. Other prospectors avoided him. They recognized the look. Gold sickness in terminal stage. In 1965, Samuel tried one last time. Borrowed money from a loan shark in Tucson. 30% interest. Went back to the mountain with second-hand equipment. Found almost nothing. The loan shark sent men to collect. They found Samuel in a mining camp outside Superior. He had nothing to give them. They broke his hands to send a message. Work off the debt or die. With broken hands, Samuel could not mine. Could not work. He drifted from town to town, begging, doing odd jobs with ruined hands. The man who once held $20,000 now fought for pennies. Sometimes he thought about going home. But what could he say? How could he face Martha and the children after throwing away years for nothing? Pride and shame became his prison. On November 14, 1966, a rancher found Samuel Hutchins dead in an irrigation ditch outside Gila Bend. Exposure, the coroner said. He had been lying there for 2 days. No identification. No money. No one. It took 3 weeks to identify him. Martha came to claim the body. She had aged too. 4 years of waiting and hoping had carved lines in her face. But she had kept the family together. At the funeral, Martha spoke to the 7 people who attended. She did not speak of gold or mountains. She spoke of the man Samuel had been before the fever took him. A good father. A steady husband. She told them what she learned. That wealth means nothing if you lose yourself finding it. That obsession is a disease that kills as surely as any poison. That what you have is always more valuable than what you might get. After the funeral, Martha found a letter in Samuel's few possessions. Written but never sent. It apologized for everything. Said he knew he was sick. Said he loved them but could not stop himself. The children grew up without a father. But Martha made sure they understood the lesson. She told them Samuel's story completely. No sugarcoating. No heroic version. The truth of how obsession destroys. Years later, geologists confirmed that Samuel's vein had indeed been valuable. If he had worked it properly, filed legal claims, partnered with investors, he could have made a legitimate fortune. Safely. Sustainably. But Samuel never learned the difference between finding opportunity and managing it. Between taking a risk and becoming reckless. Between confidence and arrogance. These distinctions separate success from tragedy. Psychologists now understand what happened to Samuel. Gold fever is real. It triggers the same brain patterns as gambling addiction, alcoholism. The substance does not matter. The compulsion is chemical. Recognizing addiction is the first step to surviving it. Samuel had every symptom. Obsessive thinking. Neglecting relationships. Continuing despite negative consequences. Inability to stop. Denial. Escalation. The tragedy is that Samuel's first instinct was correct. There was gold in that mountain. His skills and research were solid. But he lacked the wisdom to balance ambition with responsibility. Dreams with reality. Today, that mountain still stands. The vein Samuel found was eventually worked by a small mining company. They extracted over $200,000 worth between 1970 and 1975. Proper equipment. Proper planning. The lesson is not that dreams are dangerous. The lesson is that dreams without wisdom become nightmares. That finding gold is not the same as keeping it. That winning means nothing if you lose everything else. Martha lived until 1994. She never remarried. She built a small but stable life. Her children graduated college. Had families of their own. They carried their grandfather's warning like a vaccine against his disease. In the cemetery outside Phoenix, Samuel's headstone carries an unusual epitaph. Martha chose the words carefully. He found gold but lost himself. Remember what matters. A warning for every ambitious soul. So when you chase your dreams, chase them wisely. When you find opportunity, manage it carefully. And when you feel fever taking hold, remember Samuel Hutchins. Remember that having enough is better than risking everything. Some prices are too high to pay.